BBC WM. If you were listening to the show yesterday, we were talking about the horrific abuse of animals. There was one Chihuahua crossbreed that prompted almost 500,000 people on a campaign demanding a life ban for animal abusers, because there were 4 teenagers that got a 5-year ban from keeping animals for what they did to this Chihuahua, which was break its leg, its neck, and set it on fire. And it survived. And the theme continues because politicians are now joining calls for 2 brothers who actually filmed themselves abusing a different dog. This was a bulldog, to be given tougher sentences. They are Andrew and Daniel Frankish. They were given 21-week jail terms but suspended for 2 years. They attacked a bulldog named Baby that was later had to be put down. They threw it downstairs. They jumped on it. The video even made of one of them carrying out some of this abuse. UKIP MEP Jonathan Arnott is one person certainly that believes the pair should have been jailed. He's on the line. Jonathan, good afternoon, good evening to you.
Good evening. It's absolutely sickening to me that this kind of abuse can happen in a modern society, and that our courts simply aren't doing enough to stamp it out.
In this case, the pair have been banned from keeping animals for life, so they got a life ban, which is what a lot of people are campaigning for, a register of people who commit acts of animal cruelty. We were talking about that last night on the show. That seems to be something that could easily be done, doesn't it, for a start?
Well, yes, there are a number of things that we should be doing in this country and we aren't doing at the moment. Firstly, this is something which is not possible to refer to the Attorney General as an unduly lenient sentence. So there's no way, no mechanism for people who are sickened by the lack of a proper sentence on this to do something about it. Secondly, the maximum sentences in law are insufficient. We should be looking at much longer potential prison sentences for the worst kinds of offences. And thirdly, as you've touched on, we need to be a lot more careful in making sure that that those who do commit these acts are not allowed to keep animals ever again.
And this pair actually filmed some of what they did.
Exactly, and that really shows the callous disregard for suffering. The fact that not only does somebody commit an act like that, why have they filmed it? And the reason that someone films something is because they want to look at it later, and to imagine that somebody in any way would want to see that level of cruelty again is something that is so shockingly depraved that we need to get this kind of thing rooted firmly out of our society. And I just don't think that what we're doing as a nation at the moment is sufficient to send out that clear message that this is unacceptable, and if you do things like that, that you're going to regret it, because the sentence that you receive is actually going to be bad enough to make you wish you'd not done it.
Yeah.
That isn't happening at the moment.
Sadly, this young bulldog had to be put down. Nearly 200,000 people signing a petition saying the sentences that handed down, in this case, too lenient. But as you say, nothing can be done about that.
This is the problem. The problem is that it is not possible. At the moment, it's only crimes like murder, rape, robbery, only the crimes which are currently perceived as being the most serious crimes which can be referred to the Attorney General as unduly lenient and then go to the Court of Appeal. That is something which clearly needs to be expanded. It's this kind of crime, the sort of thing where you've got such clear depravity, such nastiness, such viciousness, that kind of violence. And it suggests to me that where you've got something that has got that sort of moral outrage to it, that actually there should be a proper right for those unduly lenient sentences to be considered.
And are you one of those people, Jonathan, who subscribes to the theory that if young people start abusing and injuring animals, there's a good chance it would move on to humans?
I'm sure that it can. That's not to say that it always will, but actually, when you look at the nature of a crime like this, and that kind of callous disregard for suffering, then of course it can. But actually, we need to remember that these crimes are incredibly serious in and of themselves. Those crimes against animals are incredibly serious. Of course, there's a possibility that they can move on to to human beings as well. But let's not forget the seriousness of the crimes already committed.
UKIP MEP Jonathan Arnott. Jonathan, good to talk to you.
Thank you very much.